Greetings and welcome to this Pipnotic Symposium, where I will today discuss the Pipnotic supply and demand algo trader, also known as buy and sell zones. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am running in a two chart configuration. So I have the left one over here, which is a supply and demand software, which provides the engine for the buy and sell zone robot that you can see running over here. Okay, and so you'll notice that the rectangles are going to be the same. The robot is not showing this one here over here because it's been tested already once before, and so we do not want to take that again. You can force the robot to take it, but we will focus on high probability trades only. So what I'm doing is, if we start here, this is the American dollar Swiss franc. I am defining some parameters relative to the areas of supply and demand that the engine finds, and if I like what I see, I simply, let me do this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm simply enabling the robot like that, and it will put the trade on like so. Okay, so it likes this trade, and so it will open the position. So the entry goes here at the top of the box. We are taking a multiple of this area of demand as the stop, so entry, stop, and the target is just here. Okay, then I turn it off, and then I go to the next pair. And I want to see something very specific. What I want to see is, I want to see the area of, first of all, I want to ensure that the histogram is positive, and the histogram is based on asset strength, currency strength, and, okay, which is super powerful. So if we are operating in positive territory below this dotted line, we have a good trend underway. If we are above this dotted line, we have a strong trend underway, and if we are above this green line, that means that we are likely going to begin to turn around. And so in a situation like this, I would maybe feel a little bit apprehensive about buying, because we're buying at pretty premium prices, and so I want to avoid that. So this I will probably pass on, and I'll just move to the next one. I'll drag this next pair over, and notice that this pair is doing nothing. We had some trade earlier here. I just posted these on Facebook and on Instagram, where we sold here, and then it came back on the second time and the third time, and we all saw nice reactions there. But I'm not going to take this trade. I'll only take the trade on this one here. I wouldn't take this one or this one. Hey, we'll move to the next one. This is the same kind of thing. We're moving sideways. Okay, in a situation like that, it's best just to move on. So I drag it and move it over. And here we see something that has a little bit more clarity, where you can see that we are just turning positive. Here in the histogram, you can see that we are actually looking to begin to move north. And so you started to see this here. So we're starting to see kind of pushes higher. Another one, and now you can see the histogram started to begin to get positive. Okay, and so when we start to see price move away, create black space between the red line below price and the histogram, well, that's a likely sign that we are going to begin to move positive. Okay, so this is just the completion of the cycle. And so what I like about this one here is we have this one here. So I like this one actually. So I'm going to allow it to take the trade, but I'm going to adjust the entry just a little bit, and I'm going to move it higher. I'm going to move the entry to here. Okay, because this is where we had this is the upper edge of this area of accumulation. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. The reason it's doing this is because in the configuration we have a setting called max accumulation, and when you have max accumulation of, let's say, 5, if there is a period of accumulation or distribution that exceeds this value, it will move the entry or the box for the supply and demand software and the entry for the buy and sell zone robot to the edge of that area of demand, in this case demand, where typically this would be the entry, this would be the stop. Because of the extended period of accumulation, it says the entry should be where the stop would have been historically. Okay, and so this is what is going on here, but I'm going to leave it at this. I like the breakaway. We had trend line, it was broken, so I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, good. So now we move to, I hope that was clear. Move to the next one. What do we have here? Yes, we have this interesting area just here. Okay, this is interesting to us because we had a period of so we had this area of demand, tested once, twice, three times, and now it's removed. The origin of the move that removed it is here. Okay, so I'm going to allow it to take this trade. So I'm going to increase the size of the stop just a little bit, give us a little bit of space, like so, and then I'm just going to click it on. The entry will be here, and the stop will be around here somewhere. Yeah, like so. Perfect. Turn it off to the next one. The reason I increased the size of the stop is because I want it to have a little bit of breathing space. Also, by the time price gets there, maybe the trend line would line up nicely with this, maybe a little bit deeper in here. So I just want to ensure that we have a bit of breathing room for the algo. Okay, moving on to the next one. Moving sideways, not interested. Yeah, this could be interesting, but it's a little bit messy. We had some trades on here. Let me reset the settings. Boom, boom. So we had this trade. We had trades a couple of days ago here. It would have been the first one, the second one, the third one, and now price has removed it. So the origin of the move that's actually responsible for taking that out is down here. Okay, and so this is upward sloping. We have positive. We're just beginning the like the bull cycle on the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to allow that to take the trade. And I'm not overthinking this, because if you're overthinking it, then you're going to get into trouble. And so if the software qualifies a trade and this stuff, the histogram, is in line with it, then the probability of the trade is high. Okay, and so thinking, no, I'm not going to take this one, it's not a good idea. You can't do that. Every time it's qualified, you have to take it, and you can't get too emotionally involved in what you think may or may not happen. The algo works very well, so you have to trust it. And second guessing the algo is generally not a good idea. Currently in the histogram of the algo, you can see if we are what zone we're in. Okay, so if the histogram was above the green line, it would tell us we're in a sell zone. So when it says none and it says the trend is up, that means that we can buy. But when we start to say the trend is up but we're in a sell zone, that means it's maybe a little bit too late to buy. And currently we're just being told this in the dashboard just up here, but maybe in a future release I can build it in so that it's only going to show trades that are in line with what the histogram is doing. Okay, go to the next pair. No, I don't like that. We're looking pretty high if we leave this. Yeah, we're very high. Okay, so we're super high. So this is probably, yeah, so now we're in the sell zone. We should be buying, but we're in the sell zone. So that means buying is not a terribly good idea. We did have a reaction, a small reaction here, but I'm not going to take this. I think this trade will probably work out anyway, but I'm not going to take this because we are in the sell zone and we have these rules to follow. So move to the next one. Yeah, this is pretty high again. Yes, and so what we could do is we could say, well, okay, we are high. Okay, does that mean that we are going to turn around and come down? It doesn't. It means that we're probably going to have a bit of a breather. And so when you have the asset strength reversion algo selling up here, it doesn't expect that the trade is going to go on forever. It just means that we're having a breather from this bull cycle. And so what we could do is we could take this trade, and I'm going to do that. I don't care if they win or if they lose, because my risk reward parameters are good. I'm just going to enable it. I'm going to enable it, take the trade, and it'll do that. There we are. I switch it off and I go to the next one. Okay, because this is there's an area of resistance. So there's supply up here to the left. It was tested, and then finally consumed by this. So this is interesting for me. What I want to see ideally is I want to see an area of historical resistance or support here. So there's probably going to be an area of supply over here. We can't see that on this chart, but we can see that by what we can see here. And I want to see this, and then I want to see price move through it. And when this happens, there's a high likelihood when price comes back down here, we're going to continue moving higher. Okay, I like this for that reason. Okay, so I'll leave that. I'll go to the next one. So this is probably a little high just here. Just going to take, yeah, we're a little high, so I'm not going to do that. I would actually feel comfortable buying here, but I certainly wouldn't want to buy here. It's simply too high, and this is the origin of a move that that really initiated this huge move north. But I'm not going to take that. I think I'll leave that for the time being. That's not going to be a high priority trade. And here we're already in the sell zone. See here we're probably already in the sell zone. We probably got a reaction here. Let's see. No, yeah, we're pretty high. I don't like that. Just going to wait. There's so many things to trade, so there's no need to take mediocre trades. See, this one would have been a short entry, but we missed the entry. And so now, if price comes all the way back up here, I'm thinking the sentiment may have changed since this decline, so I don't want to take the trade. And so as you can see, I'm only actually seeing a few candles here, but we are seeing a ton of historical data here in the histogram below the price here. Okay, so I don't want to take that. I want to wait. I'm going to go to the next one. We're too high. See how quick this is? We're too high. Let's see, this is an interesting area here. See, so this is one of those ones, should I not? You could do, and it could easily work out well. So for the sake of example, we're going to take this, but I'm going to move my entry a little bit my target a little bit closer, like so, because I do like the release. We are still very bullish, but we are no longer in the sell zone. You can see price went above here, and so now we're starting to move down. So now we are starting on a micro bear cycle on the 4-hour chart. So this could be a half an hour or 1 hour bearish trend. Okay, so a correction on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so going to the next one. Don't like it. I don't like that. I don't like that. See how quickly it is? So we're already in this trade. We sold up here. See, this could be interesting, but this is pretty ugly. But the robot says, okay, but so we're going to take that. You see, we have this. Yes, I'm just going to switch that on. Boom, I let that go, and it looks like that we have the target is just at the opposing supply just here. So we're going to put this on here. So this is another one. So this is probably, yeah, I mean, we could argue that this is the trend turning around, and we'll take it for that reason, but we would be a little early. But early's not bad as long as you're right. If you're early and you're right, it's great. Then your target is hit while the others are still getting in. But if you're wrong, I mean, ideally you can see that the pressure is down, but you can see we have some shorter term bullish momentum. So I'm going to take this trade because I need a sample size because we're testing. I'll leave it at that, and we're probably going to have trouble if price comes to here before it comes to my target. Then we might get stopped out on this one. But if price turns around now and then moves into this, then the liquidity is imbalanced to the upside. Okay, but if we start to move up here, then the short orders available here may have been filled already, and this may be a little bit too strong for this area of demand down here. Okay, moving on to the next one. We're going to leave it. We need a sample size because we're testing still, or I'm testing in this is my development environment. It's a live account, but it's a small live account because I need data. Okay, here, see, we were probably pretty high. Now we're starting to turn around. Yeah, we're pretty high. We didn't quite get above the dotted line, and so we're kind of lagging a little bit. So I'm going to leave that. There's nothing there that's interesting. And we might have something here. No, we had this one here that was tested. This worked out beautifully. So we were still in the bullish trend. So we tested here. You can see that we started to nestle just above this area here. Now it's removed it, and now we're actually bearish. So there could be an hourly short just up here. So if we go to the hourly chart, just to see here, and maybe or maybe not, no, somewhere around here, but it's a little bit messy. So the software didn't find it. We're actually already at an hourly buy zone. So we won't touch that. We'll just move to a different symbol. See, I don't like that either. This would have been nice, but the trade has already happened. And the trade already happened. No, it didn't. So according to our rules, there's no trade, and there was no trade. Nothing there. See this here, this area here was tested, price went up. This one here was tested, price went up, but now they've both been removed. The area that removed them is right here. These white candles just prior to the consumption of this area of child demand, this being the parent. Both gone. This is the origin. Price went up to it, and then we sold off. Beautiful example of parent-child relationship and the benefits of seeing them consumed by opposing order flows. Okay, so moving on. Maybe, see, it's saying, oh, there's a lot of accumulation here. Maybe we want to look a little bit lower, and that wouldn't be a bad idea. So we'll put that on there. Actually, let me reset this so we have, I think that's correct. Actually, I'm just going to put that on because we do have a lot of accumulation here. You know, so price could easily come down and poke into this and then see the move higher. And this bull trend here. Okay, moving. South African Rand. Not sure I'm interested in that. So here we have some exotic things. This could be, no, nothing there. So this is like an illiquid pair. No, not interested. Let's have a look at some crypto. It's too high. See this one here? We had this one here, which was a beautiful sell on XRP. Just hit, turned out beautifully. We were just negative, turned up, we poked into it, and then we went down. So that was an interesting trade, a 2-to-1 there if you would have taken 1 times this area here. We have a look at Litecoin. So we have this one, we go to it. We have this one here. Ooh, this is much nicer. I like this one here. I don't like that because price has already been here, but this one here is delightful, so I would be keen on taking this one here, but it's too far away from price, so it's not my concern for the time being. There are other things that are more pressing. Nothing there. This is it's difficult to read. Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin. Parent supply sold. Boom. Child supply sold. Boom. I mean, look how accurate this stuff is. It's on the money. If you really pay attention to what's going on here, you can really do well. Okay, so here we have Ethereum, a similar pattern up here, I think. Not quite tested. Okay, so price is pretty heavy. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash. They all look alike, don't they? Really, there's nothing there. And here we have some commodities, gold and silver. Oh, so this one here, let's have a look at this. See, it likes this. We are not quite positive. This may validate a quick look on the daily chart to see where the histogram is on the daily chart. It looks like we're just slowing down a little bit. Yeah, you can see that we've actually started to see we almost entered the buy zone. We started to see this big push higher, slingshot, snap. So this could be one of those early entries, and so just for the sake of example, I'm going to allow it to take this, but I'm going to give it a little bit more 2 times the size, just to give it a proper portion. And I'm going to go like that and let it dig in there. Perfect. And then we'll see how that goes. So now I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go to the next one. This could be interesting here. Price kind of already came to it. Now we're kind of testing here. We had this area of supply tested. Beautiful trade. I mean, they're all beautiful trades. And if you focus on the most recent price, like 30 bars, then you'll probably do quite well. We go to the hourly chart. There's probably an hourly trade in here. Half an hour maybe. Yeah, so there could be one down here at the bottom. Okay, let me click this on. Actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it. There's other stuff that's more interesting. I want to focus on the hourly, on the 4-hour chart, because this one works very well. Let's see where we are. Ooh, just turning negative, so this could be an interesting one. Also, demand tested, 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 consumed by this. Price has not yet returned. I wish this price was below this. That would give me even more confidence, but I'm going to leave that because, again, I need to take the trades. Otherwise, things fall to pieces. My model falls to pieces. Okay, go to this one. Uninteresting. This one. If there's something down here or up there. What's the histogram doing? Oh, we're not really doing anything, are we? Let's see where we were most recently. I need to go to the daily chart. Yeah, so we're reacting at this. We're pretty low. We're probably going to pull down and then continue. Yeah, you can see we've entered the buy zone here, which is very clear. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave that for another day. Let's see what we've got here. No, thank you. Okay, let's see what else we have. And you can use this on anything, absolutely anything. You can use it on stocks, indices, nothing. Yeah, this is interesting. Something here. See, that's an interesting one there. But this is not doing anything. So this probably means that the spread is too wide. Yeah, so the spread is more than 5 pips. 5 spread, that's a pretty big spread. Okay, so it's not doing anything, so it's not allowing it to do that. But you can force it to enter the trade because it doesn't mean that the spread will still be that bad once price gets there. It just means that currently the spread is really bad. And so getting into this trade may be less than beneficial. But we can say, you know, well, I want to force it to take the trade. I don't want it to care about the spread. So just put maybe 100 points, 10 pips. Let's see if it grabs it then. Maybe, maybe not. If it doesn't, then the spread is really horrible. It's probably just best to wait. And it looks like it's still complaining. Jeez. $30 pips. Let's see if we get in that. Wow. Not really something you want to trade for the time being, so we'll leave that alone. But that's a beautiful trade just here. Beautiful trade. Demand tested, consumed by this in a downtrend. Just beginning. Beautiful. Have the Hong Kong. Yeah, no, I'll leave that. I want something closer to price. Nothing there. Ugly. No, thank you. Potentially so. Spreads are probably a little bit wide. They're a little bit wide. You can see if we go here, spreads are terrible because we're out of session. We've got the Aussie market. No, not interested. Not interested. Potentially so. Yeah, this might be interesting. Yes, this could be an interesting trade. Anyway, so you get the idea. This is what I'm doing. It's super simple, but it requires a little bit of thought regarding the flows and the trends, as you can see in the histogram down here. So just keep that in mind before you click on the trade. If you enable the trade while it's in alignment with this, which one day will be built into the software, then you're in good shape. If you're not, well, then you are taking less than probable, slightly lower probability trades, which is generally not advisable. Okay, and again, you can use it on anything. You can use it on stocks. You can use it on commodities. You can use it on, absolutely anything. This is cotton. Look how would that have worked out nicely for you? It would have. Why? We're in the buy zone. So once price crosses the red line, that means it's time to look to buy. So if you have this formed in this area here, that's probably an 80+% probability trade. Okay, price poked into it. we had a couple of reloads, and then price left. That's a super sexy setup. And again, 100% visual, as you can see here. So you can use it on anything. So this is how I'm using it. I'm not using the 1 minute chart or the 10-minute chart or even the half an hour chart, although I have been on a test account. In my live testing, I'm doing it on 4 hour only. And if I can see that by moving up to the daily, that we have a nice trade setting up on the daily chart, but we need some areas of supply and demand on the smaller time frames, and I'll click down to as low as the 1 hour chart. But I'm not normally going below that. I want the higher time frames to give me confidence in the trade, not make me feel concerned about the trade. Okay, so keep that in mind. Good. Well, I am going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thank you so much for